In December 1971, the Indian Armed Forces secured a decisive and historic victory over Pakistan Army, which led to the creation of Bangladesh and also resulted in largest military surrender after the World War II. From today, our nation will be celebrating 50 years of Indo-Pak War, also called as the Swarnim Vijay Varsh, and today is also called as the Swarnim Vijay Divas. Various commemorative events are planned across the nation. Inaugural event was held at the National War Memorial in New Delhi, which was attended by Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi ji. On his arrival, he was received by Raksha Mantri Shri Rajnath Singh ji at the venue. Prime Minister, Chief of Defence Staff, Tri-Service Chiefs have all laid wreath and paid the homage to the fallen soldiers. Modi ji has lit up the Swarnim Vijay Mashal from the eternal flame of the National War Memorial on the occasion. 4 victory mashals or flames were lit from the eternal flame, and these mashals will be carried to the various parts of the country, including to the villages of Paramveer Chakra and Mahavir Chakra awardees of the 1971 war. Soil from the villages of these awardees and from areas where major battles were fought in 1971 were brought to the National War Memorial. Various commemorative events will be conducted pan-India, wherein war veterans and Veer Naris will be felicitated, and events like band displays, seminars, exhibitions, equipment displays, film festivals, conclave and adventure activities are also planned. Raksha Raji Mantri Shri Shripad Yasso Naik ji and other senior civil and military officials of the Ministry of Defence were also present on the occasion. Hello everyone and welcome back for another interesting and most informative session of the defense updates provided by SSB Crack Exams. I'm Hemant and I'm back here again to discuss with you about the most important events and inputs regarding the defense on which are being taken into consideration from the dates of 15th and 16th of December 2020. And before beginning, as I always every time in each and every particular session, I introduce to you that SSB Crack Exams has always been the most sought after Android application by millions of defense aspirants all across our country who are dreaming to join the armed forces of our country. We provide you the complete lecture content, detailed study material, sample practice questions, quizzes, exercises and mock tests depending upon the latest exam patterns for the examinations like NDA, CDS, AFCAT, INET, Territorial Army, Indian Air Force, Airman Group X, Group Y, Central Armed Police Force, Assistant Commandant's examination, and also the entrances for the Military Nursing Service and the Army Cadet College. We provide you the most probable and sought after proper study material which will be very helpful and crucial for your examination preparation, and you can even follow us on all sort of social media platforms to keep yourself updated with the most important Indian and international defense inputs. Beginning with the question of the day that I have asked on 14th of December 2020, that is 2 days back, and the question that I asked was this particular one: who is the only man to have served in all 3 defense services of the Indian Army, the Indian Navy and the Indian Air Force? I repeat the question: who is the only man to have served in all the 3 defense services of our country? That means he has served all the 3 in Indian Army, Navy and Air Force, and most of you have given a correct answer and everybody has given the answer. They have given the proper and correct answer. He is Colonel Pritipal Singh Gill. Remember, he is who? He is the Colonel Pritipal Singh Gill. He has been recently celebrated his 100th birth anniversary, centenary birth anniversary very recently on 11th of December 2020. Okay, so the complete article regarding this was also published by SSB Crack Exams. So if we can see that according to his life, whole life, if we simply sort out, so this is a very simple flowchart. I have tried to accumulate a lot of information regarding that in a very short form as possible. So here, if you can see that he was in the first time he was commissioned as a pilot officer at Karachi, and he was flying hovered aircraft at that time. So he was in the British Indian Air Force at that time. Later, when his family had objections to him being served in the Air Force at that time, because they had a fear of him losing him, so they were not interested and they wanted him to shift in that. So there was a person known as General Savoy, who was a very important officer at that time of the British officer. He was a officer. He knew the family situations of Colonel Pritipal Singh Gill, and he helped in Gill transferring him towards Navy. Okay, then Pritipal Singh Gill, he has transferred to the Navy at that time, and he was then promoted as Sub-Lieutenant Gill, and he worked on the mine-sweeping ships, and also he has worked in INS Tir also. He has also participated in a lot of things in maintaining the security of the country at that time, and he was a very major participant at that time. And later on, while he was in the Indian Navy at that time, he attended the Long Gunnery Staff course at the School of Artillery in Devlali at that time. Okay, so he was also qualified as an instructor in gunnery while he was in the Indian Navy. But after being qualified as an instructor in gunnery, he wanted to serve in the Indian Army, and Indian Army has attracted him a lot. So he kept a petition to completely transfer him from Navy to the Indian Army, and his request was completely accepted. And he was transferred from the Navy to Army at that time. And when he transferred to Army, he was posted to the Gwalior Mountain Battery, which was equipped with a 5.4-inch howitzers. Later on, he even served in the 34 Medium Regiment, and he also raised a new regiment, and he also commanded a new regiment known as the 71 Medium Regiment at that time. And he was later on promoted to Colonel, and when he was promoted to Colonel, he was also commanded Assam Rifle Sector in Manipur. And after being commanded as the Assam Rifle Sector in Ukhrul as a colonel, he retired at that time. And after retirement, he has been being a great motivation to a lot of the aspirants and most of the serving officers of the Army, Navy and Air Force. And he has recently celebrated his 100th birth anniversary, and we wish him all the very best, and all of each and every particular aspirant and each and every particular person watching this particular session, and each and every citizen of this country is very proud of Colonel Prithyapal Singh Gill, and we are indebted to the services that he has given. So that is it regarding the most important details regarding the question of the day that I have asked 2 days back. And now let us start off with understanding regarding the first and foremost important defense update, and that is regarding the Project 17A ship Himgiri has been launched recently on 14th of December 2020 at afternoon 1:35 hours. So this particular ship was launched by Srimati Madhulika Rawat, the spouse of the Chief of Defence Staff, General Bipin Rawat. General Bipin Rawat was the chief guest to this particular ceremony. So his wife has launched the ship. This is a kind of a process that every time naval ships will follow. So whenever the naval ships are going to launch, the chief guest's wife is that particular person who will be launching this particular one. So following the naval traditions, Srimati Madhulika Rawat has launched the ship, and this had its first contact with the Hooghly River waters on 14th of December 2020 in Kolkata. So if you can see, there are around 7 ships in Project 17A. So if you can see, among these 17A project ships, among these 7 ships, only 2 ships have been launched, and the first ship was INS Nilgiri, sir. Okay, it was INS Nilgiri, and INS Himgiri is the second ship. So this is the and INS Nilgiri was actually built at the Mazagon Dock Limited in Mumbai, and there it was launched. But INS Himgiri is now launched at the Garden Reach Shipbuilders and Engineers in Kolkata. If we go through in detail, we have to understand that under this Project 17A program, 7 ships are there, and among these 7 ships, 4 ships will be built at Mazagon Dock Shipbuilders, and 3 ships will be built at the Garden Reach Shipbuilders and Engineers. So among these ships are the first gas turbine propulsion and largest combat platforms ever built at GRSC. Remember this point, okay? So these are the first gas turbine propulsion and the largest combat platforms ever built at the Garden Reach Shipbuilders Engineers in Kolkata. And the first Project 17A ship is INS Nilgiri. INS Nilgiri was launched also recently, last 1 year back in 28th of September 2019. Understanding? So this is a very, very crucial update, and we have to remember and understand the details regarding that. And if we go through a little bit regarding that, I would say that since its inception, Project 17A has upheld India's vision for Atmanirbhar Bharat. These ships have been indigenously designed by the Directorate of Naval Design and are being built at indigenous yards, namely at Mazagon Dock Limited and Garden Reach Shipbuilders and Engineers. Naval shipbuilding provides a great opportunity to energize our economy post COVID-19, and these Project 17A ships are sourcing 80% of the material or equipment required for the project from indigenous vendors, and with employment generation for over 2,000 Indian firms and micro, small and medium enterprises within the country. Modular construction of the ship through outsourcing and integrated construction methodology are being used to enhance GRSC's productivity for the delivery of the ship targeted in August 2023. Going through now with the next in detail regarding the next important update is regarding Indian Army has organized a webinar along with the partnership with the Society of Indian Defence Manufacturers, and this particular webinar was mainly regarding the modernization of the repair echelons in line with the latest technology. So if you can see, in a very proper, as far as the theme is concerned, the theme is actually Agile EME, facilitating boots on ground through aggressive industrial outreach. Okay, so this was conducted on 14th of December 2020, and 3 sessions were held at that time, and 3 different sessions have focused on 3 important topics. They include indigenization, modernization of the electronics and mechanical engineering workshops, and the use of the condition-based monitoring for the repair of the equipment. And going through this particular one, we have to see that in the inaugural session, Lieutenant General S.K. Upadhyay, the Master General of Sustenance, Indian Army has conveyed that such digital interactions have become the new normal to do business, and he further highlighted that Indian industry is progressing fast towards becoming a major defense industrial base, and the defense industry always offers new solutions to any arising problems of the armed forces. We have to understand that this webinar is a step towards meeting indigenization requirements of the EME, and we have to also understand that industry should assist Indian Army to meet these requirements in a timely and qualitative manner. Going through now, with the next important update is regarding the Prime Minister has lit up the Swarnim Vijay Mashal or Swarnim Vijay flame, and it began the 50th anniversary celebrations of the Indo-Pakistani War today. This is what I was discussing with you in the introduction session. So it was on 16th of December 1971, long back, 50 years back. Our armed forces have completely destroyed and defeated the Pakistani Army, Navy and Air Force, and this led to a creation of a new country known as Bangladesh, and the Pakistani around 1,70,000 and more among these, they have surrendered towards Indian Army, and they have signed a document of surrender, and today we are celebrating 50 years of this glorious victory by giving a befitting reply towards Pakistan. You have to understand that Prime Minister, Chief of Defence Staff and also the Tri-Service Chiefs have laid the wreath and paid homage to the fallen soldiers, and Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi has lit up the Swarnim Vijay Mashal, and various commemorative events are also held across the country wherein war veterans, Veer Naris will be felicitated, and events like band displays, seminars, exhibitions, equipment displays, film festivals, conclaves, adventure activities, etc. and many more are planned today. So please stay tuned with the most important updates, and tomorrow we will give you how we celebrated today itself. Okay, so going through with the next important update is regarding Russia has recently launched a next important heavy lift space rocket after around 6 years. Okay, long back in 6 years back, Russia has launched a heavy lift space rocket, but after 6 years, again Russia is launching this particular rocket now, and the name of that rocket is Angara A5. Okay, remember the name of this rocket, Russian space rocket, is Angara A5. This is actually designed by the Roscosmos, which is a Russian governmental space agency, and it was launched at Plesetsk Cosmodrome in Russia. Okay, so when it was launched on 14th of December 2020 on Monday, and it was actually first test launch in 2014, and it is being developed to replace the Proton M. Proton M is also a heavy lift space rocket of Russia, so it is going to replace the Proton M space rocket. It is bigger than the 20 tons into the orbit, and a new launch pad for the new rocket is due to open in 2021. Russian officials confirmed that the Angara A5 rocket and its Breeze M upper stage performed as intended during the test flight, which carried a Mars simulator into orbit on a marathon 9-hour mission, mimicking a mission profile that might be required by future Russian military and commercial payloads. Angara A5 is the most powerful new Russian launcher since the 1980s, and it is designed to replace the Proton M rocket to carry the country's heaviest payloads into orbit. But the program is years behind schedule, and despite a successful inaugural test flight in 2014, it took 6 years to launch this second Angara A5 rocket. Generating more than 2 million pounds of thrust, the engine steered the Angara A5 rocket to the east from Plesetsk. Angara's A5's 4 strap-on boosters shut down and separated nearly 3.5 minutes into the flight. Then the rocket's core stage, which fired its RD-191 engine at a lower throttle, settling in the early phase of flight. Powered up to full throttle to continue the climbing into space, the core stage, also known as the second stage, switched off its engine and dropped away from the Angara's third stage nearly 5.5 minutes after a liftoff. A kerosene-fueled RD-0124 engine ignited on the third stage and fired for nearly 7 minutes. So the rocket's Breeze M upper stage separated from Angara third stage at T plus minutes 12 minutes 28 seconds according to the statements. Breeze M upper stage simulated a payload separation maneuver around 1500 GMT, more than 9 hours after taking off from Plesetsk, Roscosmos has tweeted. Breeze M was then expected to fire thrusters to maneuver into a graveyard orbit near the geostationary belt. That is it regarding the most important update regarding this news. Now going on with the next important update is regarding India and Bangladesh are now going to secure the chicken's neck by inaugurating the Haldibari Chilahati rail service after 55 years. If you can see, Haldibari is a city in our country in West Bengal, and Chilahati is a city, it's a railway station, it's a city in Bangladesh. So there is going to be a railway line that is going to be conducted between Haldibari and Chilahati. So So this particular railway line will be most probably be inaugurated today itself by the Prime Ministers, both Shri Narendra Modi ji and Prime Minister of Bangladesh, Sheikh Hasina, and both of them are expected to inaugurate it today, and this is expected to resume. Actually, this will start working from March 26 next year on Bangladeshi Independence Day. So this is actually very important one, and Haldibar is actually strategically located. It is around 75 kilometers from the critical Siliguri corridor. Okay, so this is a very important one, and the areas of strategic importance to India, as it is the gateway to the northeast and the eastern part of India. The area especially around the Nathula Pass and even Dokla Pass has seen several conflicts, and now with an aggressive and increasingly belligerent China, India needs to protect this particular region. In case any other external force manages to break this corridor, India's connectivity with the northeast will be cut off. So that is why we need to maintain the proper maintenance with the Siliguri corridor and all the other seven sisters of our country, which are an indomitable asset to our most prestigious Indians culture and tradition and benefits. Going through now with the next important update is regarding the Hindustan Aeronautics Limited's avionics division has actually very recently got a permission and clearance certificate to assemble the first Israeli active electronically scanned array radar for the Jaguar Darin 3 UPG jets locally. So this is the Hyderabad city division of HAL. So HAL's avionics division is actually situated in Hyderabad. So it got a certificate clearance for the ELTA ELM 2052 AESA radar. Okay, so it is ELTA ELM 2052 active electronically scanned array radar. This is going to be fitted on the Jaguar Darin 3 UPG plane in our country, and this is the HAL has actually got the certificate for manufacturing 54 of these radars underneath the transfer of technology. So this particular agreement was actually signed in February of 2020 from Israeli Aerospace Industries ELTA Methods in Israel. You have to understand that this particular radar is a heart management radar FCR. It is designed for air-to-air superiority strike missions to attain lengthy detection ranges, multi-target monitoring capabilities also. HAL will also manufacture the gallium arsenide based mostly transistors, receivers that will be a part of this antenna, and we have to also consider that 83 Tejas Mark 1A fighter jets might also be fitted with this particular new radars very soon, but the proposal is there and they are still thinking whether this has to be inducted or not. If you have to go through the characteristics, the technical details and the performance, you have to understand that regarding the technical details, the antenna size has been adopted to the aircraft nose limitations. The weight is around 80 to 180 kgs. It has 3 to 10 kV of power, and it has Sigma 2-axis monopulse and guard channels. If you have to go through the performance regarding air-to-air, it will be used in multi-target detection and tracking, multi-target air combat machinery, and high-resolution rate management and assessment. Regarding air-to-ground, then it will be used in high-resolution mapping, air-to-ground ranging, real beam mapping, Doppler beam sharpening, GMTK on RBM and SAR, beacons, weather radars and all. If you have to use in air-to-sea, then where it will be used? It will be used in long-range target detection, sea search and multi-target, and RS and ISER classification modes will also be used. So this is the main use of the ELTA ELSA radar 2052 radar, which will be very recently going to be fitted in the Jaguar technical planes. Going through now with the next important update is regarding India has been now working on the next Astra missile, which has its range, which will be going to have its range as 160 kilometers, as Mark 1 has already been integrated in Indian Air Force and Indian Navy. Okay, so the work is actually on to integrate the current. Now the current Astra missile, Astra Mark 1 missile is already there. So Astra Mark 1 missile has now a range of 110 kilometers. They want to increase this particular range as 160 kilometers, sir. Okay, so this Astra Mark 1 is already now fitted into Indian Air Force's MiG-29 LCA Mark 1 aircraft and also Indian Navy's MiG-29K aircraft also. Okay, so Astra Mark 1 is integrated with Su-30 MKI fighters, and the production is also being done by the Bharat Dynamics Limited has also begun regarding this particular one, and it will be soon be standard long-range air-to-air missile across India's entire fighter fleet except Rafale and Mirage. Understanding? Except the French aircrafts that we are taking from the Rafale, that we are taking from France, that means Rafale and Mirage aircrafts, all the other aircrafts of our country will be fitted with the Astra weapon. Astra Mark 1 will be soon used, and we have to understand that Astra Mark 2 is also coming very soon. If you have to see details regarding that, So the Mark II, as of now, while India now has a European developer MBDS Meteor missiles with the Rafale's induction, they are much more costly compared to the Astra. For the second version of Astra missile called Mark II, the Defense Research and Development Organization or DRDO, it is working on dual pulse rocket motor to extend the range up to 160 kilometers by May 2022. That means Mark II is coming up by May of 2022 and it is still working on that, as said by the defense sources. The work is also going on to replace the Russian radio frequency seekers on the missile with indigenous ones. So these both Mark 1 and Mark 2 missiles will be using the indigenous seeker in production, as said by the sources, and they all will be using the inertial measurement unit. All of them will also be indigenous. Okay, so if you want to go through detail regarding this particular one, you can also go through the study material which is being provided for free of cost from SSB Crack Exams app. So please download the app and you can even download the study material for free. And if you have to go through, if you have to want to see the history of that, actually this Astra project that you are seeing, it actually began in the year of 2001 and it has been 20 years that we are going, and the complete project is going at a very good pace, and it is a very appreciable part by the DRDO that we have to consider and remember. Going through now with the next and the final update that I want to discuss is regarding Taiwan has recently launched a new ship, and after launching its new ship, the Taiwanese president has said that now Taiwan will be looking and its main aim is to become an arms supplier for the West. Okay, so the Taiwan's most important buyer is only the United States of America. Okay, USA is the most important buyer for the Taiwan, and no other country other than USA will buy so many weapons from Taiwan. So the Tachiang is actually that particular ship that they have very recently produced, and this is a Tuoshan class corvette. It was launched yesterday and it has been dubbed by the Taiwan's Navy as aircraft carrier killer. Okay, they want to tell this particular corvette as the aircraft carrier killer because it has anti-ship missile and it can also carry Sky Sword anti-aircraft missiles. Okay, so this is the many important thing that we have to remember, and these corvettes are a prototype of which they already in production. They have been dubbed by the Taiwan's Navy as aircraft carrier killer. Speaking in the eastern port city of Suao for the launch of Taxiang, the first mass production ship of the Tuo Shang class, Tsai has said that the vessel and the new mine layer would detect attacks and showcase Taiwan's research and development ability. And in the future, they are also aiming to become a supply source of related equipment and components in Western democracies, driving the upgrading of the defense industry, as said. Now we will have a very quick review of the topics by going through some of the most important questions regarding the topics that we have discussed. Okay, so the first and foremost question is, Project 17A ships are known as which class frigates? Okay, Project 17A ships are known as the Nilgiri class frigates. Okay, going through with the next one, how many Project 17A ships have been launched until now? That means by December 2020, that means by this month. How many Project 17A ships have launched? There were only 2 ships launched. One is INS, what is that? One is INS Nilgiri, and the other one is what? Very recently launched. It is INS Himgiri. Okay, INS Nilgiri and INS Himgiri are 2 ships that are launched until now regarding the Project 17A class frigates. Going through with the next important one is, under Project 17A program, a total of 7 ships dash at Mazagon Dock Shipbuilders Limited and dash ships at Garden Reach Shipbuilders and Engineers are being built. Okay, how many at MDL and how many at GRSA? The correct answer for this particular one is 4 and 3. Okay, 4 will be built at Mazagon Dock Shipbuilders and 3 ships will be built at the Garden Reach Shipbuilders and Engineers. Going through with the next question is, which city division of HAL has acquired clearance for manufacturing of AESA radar to be fitted on the Jaguar Darren 3 UPG plane? The correct answer for this particular one is the Hyderabad division. Okay, HAL's avionics division is actually located in Hyderabad. Next question is, HAL has acquired clearance for which AESA radar to be fitted on the Jaguar Darren 3 UPG plane? So what is that particular radar? It is option A, ELTA ELM 2052 radar. On 14th of December 2020, Russia successfully test launched which heavy lift space rocket? What is it actually named as? It is option C, Angara A5. Next question is, Indian Army organized a webinar with SIDM of 14 December 2020. The theme of that particular webinar was what? Okay, the theme of this particular webinar was option A, Agile EME, facilitating boots on ground through aggressive industrial outreach. I repeat, Agile EME, facilitating boots on ground through aggressive industrial outreach. Now we will have the question of the day, and regarding the question of the day, I will like to ask the question, and the question is, which multinational engineering firm has been appointed by the Indian Navy as the project management consultant for the prestigious Project Seabird Phase 2A? Okay, I repeat the question. Which multinational engineering firm has been appointed by the Indian Navy as the project management consultant for the prestigious Project Seabird Phase 2A? The answer for this particular question and the details regarding that I will be giving you in the next session. Until then, stay tuned to SSB Crack Exams. Subscribe to this channel. Download the Android app from Google Play Store. Always stay safe, stay healthy, keep smiling, be confident. Jai Hind.